What's up, Ram fans? Welcome back to Tuesday Night Sports. I'm your brand new host, Emily Kozel, here to look ahead at the countless things that CSU athletics and the rest of Colorado sports have on tap for the rest of the week. Tonight, I'll be taking a deep dive into what happened to Rams basketball last night up in Laramie and everything else surrounding the program's recent rough patch. All of that and more coming up on Tuesday Night Sports, which starts right now. For our main topic tonight, how could we talk about anything but what's been going on for the green and gold on the hardwood? And most importantly, the recent skid down the Mountain West rankings. But before we get to what's been going on over the past week or so, let's first recap how the Rams have gotten to this point. Now, over the course of the last few weeks, and really since Coach Medved and the crew's COVID-induced break back in mid-December, it's been clear that this team has been out of sync, to say the least. With their first L of the season coming on the road at San Diego State in blowout fashion early on last month, before falling yet again a few weeks later to the UNLV Rebels in what was, yes, yet another lopsided result. The shocking difference here, though, was this awful effort against a below-average conference opponent in the Rebs, which, as most of you can guess, we've already covered extensively over the last couple of days. But even with this L, the Rams had a much more important one to look ahead to come yesterday, where they hoped to put that devastating L in the rearview mirror with a much-needed dub over their hated rivals from down the road, the Wyoming Cowboys, battling the Pokes in their place for the first of two matchups for this year's Border War. And now, getting into this one a bit more, to say these teams were evenly matched would probably be the understatement of a lifetime. With the matchup including 10 ties and 16 lead changes, both of these squads couldn't separate whatsoever, with neither gaining more than even a 6-point lead, making it no surprise that yet again another border war came down to the wire, with Wyoming taking the W in heartbreaking fashion, 83-78 in overtime. But before we get into the stats, let's break down a little of the game a little more. While the Rams' performance last night was drastically better than the one they had on Friday, anything would be, there was definitely still some key aspects of their play that they were lacking. One of which being the super long period of time that the Rams went without scoring in the first half. And to make matters even worse, CSU didn't even get on the board until about 4 minutes in, when the grad student Chandler Jacobs made an easy layup. Unfortunately for Rams fans, this appears to have become a trend as of late for CSU's squad. And while they're known for going on long scoring runs to make up for these gaps, they simply can't keep relying on this style of play when it comes to facing off against these Quad 1 teams like Wyoming. Since coming back after the long COVID break in December, the Rams are yet to score first in a single game. A little bit of a worrying stat, to say the least, if you ask me. And I'll stress it again, in order to keep up with some of the best squads that this conference has to offer, like Wyoming, they have to be more aggressive off the bat and up their first half efficiency, preventing the need to have to go on these extended runs in the first place to close these massive holes that they're digging themselves into. And while CSU put together a much stronger outing in a game that they really needed, you can still see some of the same disconnect that we saw on Friday, especially in the last minute of the contest. With 1:09 left on the clock, the Rams held a slim 69-68 advantage. And jumping to a bit later in the half, after a missed three-point jumper from Wyoming's Jake Jeffries, with about 40 seconds left, it was looking like the Rams finally had a chance to secure the W. But in an attempt to work the clock a little bit too much, Isaiah Stevens was a little late releasing the ball, which resulted in a shot clock violation for the road team. And things got even worse for the green and gold after that, with Kendall Moore committing a foul with 6 seconds left to allow Graham Ike to shoot 2 from the line and give Wyoming a 1-point lead. But luckily for CSU faithful, with about a second left of regulation, Jake Jeffries bailed the Rams out, fouling David Roddy and sending him to the line for a 1-and-1 shot, and most importantly, a chance to seal one at the last second. Roddy made the first one, tying things up, but the second one wasn't so lucky, sending the game into overtime. And in the extra period, it was Wyoming who was able to make better use of those extra 5 minutes, scoring 14 to CSU's 8 and securing the 84-78 win. Now, returning back to the stats, it was Wyoming that led in almost every category except for steals and assists. While CSU did raise both their field goal and three-point percentage from Friday, it was still lower than usual and didn't compare to the Pokes' 52.8% from the field and 42.9% from the arc. The Rams also had an uncharacteristically low free throw percentage at 72.7%, which proved to be costly. And when you look at the scorer sheet, like usual, junior guard David Roddy secured the team a high of 23, while his classmate Isaiah Stevens was right behind him with 17. While the Pokes were led by none other than star guard Hunter Medaldo, who scored 35 points and went 10 for 11 on free throws. And yet another disappointing L for the Rams, returning to Moby for the annual Orange Out game this Friday against San Diego State. We all know what happened last time when the Rams visited Vejas Arena earlier this season, and I'm sure that they're looking for some revenge against this fellow conference rival. They need this one for sure. And with that, Rams fans, that's all the sports actions I have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in on Thursday for yet another news show and enjoy your snow day. Stay safe, and we'll see you then.